Hey, this is Josh Bell, your Chief Product Evangelist with Ultra Botanica, the makers of the curcumin you can feel. I'm sitting here with Adam Payne, the CEO of Ultra Botanica. Hey, Adam.
Hey, Josh.
And boy, do we have a treat for our audience today. Very special guest.
Sandwich between us here this morning.
Oh, I forgot to say, the Ultra Botanica Studios coming to you from Oklahoma City right here. We've got a dear friend, special guest today, Kenzie Taylor. She's a naturopath. She's an owner of Taylor's Herbs here in Oklahoma City, and she has an amazing story. I've heard it before, spoiler alert, but I'll try to stay out of her business and let her tell it, regarding her health journey and how ultimately she's become a healer of many others as a naturopath. So, Kenzie, take us back in time. Share with us this amazing journey that brought you to the place where you're helping other people with their health journey.
I guess the first thing I would say is I was raised in a medical household. So my mom's a nurse, my stepdad's a pharmacist, and that's what path I was going to take. I had every plan to be a surgeon by 30.
Oh, wow. Driven.
That's ambitious, yeah.
Yeah, used to say nothing and no one was going to stop me. And then in high school, I was a cheerleader and actually was the one that they throw in the air.
Wow.
They call that a flyer. Oh,
yes.
my gosh.
So I would fly through the air.
How high do you get?
Pretty high.
15 feet?
At least.
Wow.
Because then they pop you up, so you go a little higher. And then at summer camp, actually, I was dropped on accident, of course, from a full stunt where they're fully extended. And from there, it just kind of progressed as like shin splints, and it would be kind of hard to get around sometimes, but just thought it was normal because I was cheerleading, I did dance, I did all the things, I was in every extracurricular activity there was available. And anyway, one morning I woke up and I couldn't move.
So how long was that from the time you had the accident and you're still kind of living life normally with a little aches and pains, and then all of a sudden you can't move?
It was about 4 to 6 months there.
Wow.
I would have days where it'd be like really hard to get out of bed, but I just thought, I overdid it. No big deal. And then the morning that I woke up and my legs were swollen and I could not physically move them, I just started screaming, obviously. And my mom came running up the stairs. She had to carry me down the stairs. They took me to the hospital, and they're like, "Oh, she just overdid it. Here's a steroid shot, and go home and let her rest for a few days." And then what progressed as just a quick steroid injection ended up being about 1.5 years in bed.
What?
Yeah.
So I mean, physiologically, what happened?
So first off, I went to multiple different doctors, had multiple different diagnoses, had a psych eval because they thought I was doing it to myself.
Yeah, you're mentally defective, right?
Yeah.
You can't be this sick.
Yeah, straight A student, involved in everything. Like one of my nicknames was Miss Perfect. Like, I'm like, it's pretty bad. Yeah. Very type A driven personality. And of course I passed that. Thank God.
Yeah. Oh, you weren't looking for attention?
No. Good Lord.
And they didn't immediately over-medicate you with psych meds?
Oh, no. Thank God. But
yeah.
I was on, my last doctor just said she has, some weird autoimmune disease and literally sent me home to essentially die.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, they did this huge roundtable study with all the heads of the departments on my case, and they were like, we have
So was there some sort of inflammatory thing going on?
Oh, I was massively inflamed.
Really?
I mean, like, my legs would swell and get super red and hot, and then it would, like, work its way up my spine.
So this is happening on a regular basis?
Regular basis. The only thing that would give me any type of relief was scalding hot showers or baths.
What?
And again, just to remind our listeners, how long were you in bed, and were you literally having to be transported places by your parents? What was going on?
That sounds like a setup.
Yeah. Well,
it is.
It was, especially at the end. Like, I would have moments where it'd be a little better and I could get around with some assistance, like with a rolling chair or a walker.
And you were like, how old were you at this point?
I was 15 when it started.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Think about being a type A person, Adam, and going from being the individual that knows exactly where you're going in life to being in bed for what, a year?
About 1.5 years.
Year and a half. Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm. So the last bit, my mom was literally having to carry me, dress me, and feed me because they had me so over-medicated. I had wasted away to about 80 pounds.
I'm in tears. So sorry, Kenzie. This is horrible.
Yeah, so I, the last, like I said, the last doctors just said, take her home and get her comfortable, essentially. And my prescription for pain meds was take as needed, so it wasn't even an amount. So I literally was taking handfuls.
Back in the day, right, when they would just say, "Hey, here's a bottle of 120 these opiates."
They think end-stage disease. They're thinking we just want to make you comfortable.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what?
So
I have to ask the question, and I know you.
Redemption is coming.
What changed?
So actually, my mom and everybody, they were just talking about what to do. And my grandfather was like, hey, I grew up with this guy who's actually a chiropractor. Let's try it. Now, again, we had tried maybe a chiropractor once or twice, I think, but not all are created equal. Right?
That's right.
Love the profession, obviously saved my life. So, but anyway, he's like, let's just try it. And so my mom was like, whatever, we'll do whatever we can.
Yeah, sure. We're desperate
and
for
I gotta
any
ask
solution.
you, as conventional medical people that your parents were, what did they think about chiropractic?
Okay, well, they adjust your back.
Okay.
Okay, cool, you have a sore back.
So they at least didn't think the chiropractor was going to cripple you more.
Not cripple me more.
I guess in your instance, it was like, what do we got to lose?
Exactly. And so my mom carried me in and laid me on this man's table and was like, with my stack of scans, and was like, please don't waste our time.
Wow.
Please don't waste our time. And so he threw one up and he goes, oh, it's right there. Pointed right to the problem, adjusted me, did some acupuncture. I walked out of his office that day.
What?
Gee.
His name is Dr. James Bugg, and he is definitely accredited, him and the Lord, why I'm sitting here today.
Yeah.
So what did he point to? What was it?
So what it ended up being is called Piriformis Syndrome. Okay, so it's the piriformis muscle that controls hip flexor movement.
Brutal if you get that pain, as dancers too. My daughters were all dancers.
Yeah. But unfortunately with mine, my sciatic nerve actually runs through the muscle. And so
is that like a genetic kind of thing? Okay.
Yeah, and come to find out, my same grandfather, who has now gone on to be with the Lord, but he actually had it too, just a milder version.
Wow.
But the fall and then the chronic inflammatory response that I had kept that muscle so inflamed, it was literally pinching off my sciatic nerve root. So it not only had affected all the way down to my feet, my legs, obviously, but had worked its way up my spine.
And so that created a feedback loop with your immune system.
Yes, and had a little bit of scoliosis on top of that. So it was just this whirlwind of issues. So anyway.
And so after that point, literally you had no more issues.
Well, I say that. I had to come off of meds.
Wow, okay. Yeah.
So unfortunately, we had a really bad ice storm that year. Go figure, we live in Oklahoma, we get those often. And I ran out.
Oh, wow,
of
you
my
cold
main.
turkey.
So I literally went cold turkey. And I had seizures for about 6 months after that, just from the nerve response. Because, mind you, I've been on some type of pain med for over a year and a half at this point.
As a very young person, too. Wow.
Yeah.
So clean and sober now.
Yes. Praise the Lord. It was crazy. And I would see Dr. Bugg a couple times a week for a while. And, at first I would feel better for a little bit. And then, of course, just the chronic inflammatory response would just keep kicking in. So after that point of coming off all the meds, actually being able to walk and get back into life, I just decided I was going to swear off all meds at that point. I wouldn't even take an ibuprofen.
Wow. And that changed your direction from wanting to be a surgeon, I guess, to looking for something else. Was your current path kind of obvious to you, or did other things happen?
No, I still thought, hey, I'm going to still be medical. And I went that route. I had an opportunity for a scholarship.
Okay.
And I literally almost had like PTSD. I couldn't do it.
Really?
Because the profession that I had highly esteemed, unfortunately, had
failed
me
you
as a child.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah. And so
So either you were kind of, I guess, kind of setting this up. You were either going to go in there and change the profession, right?
right.
I mean, you
There's
could
great
have,
doctors out there. Don't get me
right?
wrong.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
very
yeah.
thankful.
You could have like, they failed me, and I'm going to fix how they failed me, or you were going to, or God opened up another path for you.
He did. But just to wrap it up, I was sitting on the end of Dr. Bug's bed, actually his adjusting table, and I was bawling because I didn't know what to do with my life. Here I have my life back.
Right.
I gave up my scholarship, which my whole family thought I was nuts. I thought, okay, well, I'll be a nurse because then, better bedside manner. I can be more
take
of
care
an
of patients.
advocate,
Yeah.
That's what my mom does. I just thought, okay, I won't be prescribing meds all day. And then I had a great GPA, great interview, and I didn't get into nursing school. So I gave up med school.
Hold on.
And so, total failure moment. And I'm sitting on the end of his adjusting table just bawling, I don't know what I'm going to do with my life, and he just looked at me and he was like, sweetheart, you won't even take an ibuprofen if I beg you to. You're already doing nutrition. You're already taking supplements and researching. Why don't you be a naturopath? And I was like, a what?
Sorry, that's loud.
It was so good. I was like, well, okay, I'll look into it. And so I started looking into it, and here I am.
Wow. So I guess we're going to come back after our break here and talk about your journey into naturopathy. A lot of our listeners might know what naturopathy is. It's do you know the origins of naturopathy? Do they teach that when you study?
Oh, really? It's Hippocrates or the Hippocratic. I mean,
It goes back to before allopathic medicine, doesn't it?
It's the original.
It's the original,
yeah,
right?
It's
So
God-given.
So just thinking that, oh, well, naturopathy, that's something new. It's actually, it's what was before we had all of this molecular medicine that we're dealing with right now.
I'm Josh Bellew here with Ultra Botanica and the Ultra Botanica Studios. I'm sitting here with CEO Adam Payne of Ultra Botanica and Kenzie Taylor, the owner of Taylor's Herbs, a naturopath. We'll be back shortly.
Our mission is to take nature's most beloved botanicals and enhance them with our liquid protein scaffold technology. This helps it reach your cells faster and better. With exponentially enhanced bioavailability, you'll feel better every day. Ultra Botanica, the feel-good curcumin.
Okay, Kenzie, Adam asked in the last segment about the origins of naturopathy, but we want to know how you took that specific path. And then I'd really like to know, let's say I walked into Taylor's Herbs and I'd made an appointment with you to see you. I'd love to know your process because people out there are really curious. Some people have no idea, just like they think chiropractors, put people in the hospital, they want to know about naturopathy. So do a little walkthrough for me of what it's like.
Yeah, but I really want to hear a story. I want to finish out the story.
Yeah.
How did you find the naturopathy route?
So
we learned about your chiropractor, right? So now your family must think you're even more crazy.
Yes, yeah, for sure. I mean, actually, some of them thought I was throwing my dream away.
Right.
Which I get. That's what I said I wanted to do my whole life. I actually, even my Nana, she reminded me, she's like, when you were 3, you were telling me this. Like, you were going to be a doctor.
Right. You want to be a healer.
Yes. Because I wanted to teach people as well. And so really what I look at what I do now is I'm more of a teacher. Traditionally you go into a medical office, they say, oh, you have pain, here's the pain pill. But they don't discuss the origins of pain or what causes the pain. Or is it a nerve root issue? Is it a subluxation like with chiropractic? Is it a nutritional deficiency like low magnesium? They don't go into that. They just give you a pill and send you on your way. And so a lot of times when people come into my office, I'm training them like how their body works. I'm teaching them how their body works, basic function. And what I always tell my clients is the body is very complex, right? Yeah. Because our Creator is very complex. He made us in His image. Yet really simple. Really simple. You feed it, you water it, you give it some rest, move it every now and then. It works. It wants to work. It's a well-oiled machine.
Yeah.
And
If
so,
you oil it and give it the right fuel.
right.
Designed to be optimally healthy, right? If we
Yes.
can just put the right components there, have the right tools in the
I'm
toolbox.
like, exactly. Let's put the puzzle pieces back together. Like, what are we missing? What's the missing link? Is it nutritional? Is it spiritual? Is it emotional? And that's my goal. That's holistic health, is looking at the body as mind, body, spirit.
So which school did you end up going to?
I actually went to Trinity School of Natural Health. So it's out of Warsaw, Indiana.
Oh, wow.
And it was all correspondence. So really fun part of my story too, actually, guys, is I I worked for the chiropractor. I ended up working in their office, and then was able to leave. And when the Lord called me to leave, I didn't know what I was going to do. I quit. We cried, and I walked into this little bitty herb store one day. I was 21 years old.
Oh, this is my favorite part of this story.
And the lady in there, she had the same last name. She went to Trinity. She was doing what I wanted to do. She was about 70 years old.
What?
And our husbands had the same birthday, different year.
Oh, my God.
And it's right in my neighborhood. Literally, I would drive by this store for 20 years.
Yeah,
So,
we actually moved into a neighborhood right across the main Northwest Expressway part there. And I just happened to see it one day driving. And so I stop in, we start talking, we have all this stuff in common. We come from the same area of Oklahoma, like around the center of the
What?
Comstock. Yeah, I mean, just bam, 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 bam. This is 2 weeks after the Lord told me to quit the chiropractors and start my journey.
Adam knows about those things called
Yeah.
confirmations, doesn't he? Anyway,
Yeah.
Yes.
that's a story for
So-
another day.
But you listened to the Lord when he told you to do this.
Yeah, trust and obey.
Oh, my gosh.
And really, I was just
Wow.
learning this. I had just been knocked off my feet, given my life back, and I'm like, okay, now what? So I'm literally at that place of I have nothing, I don't know.
Lord, you've told me to leave one thing. Where's the place I'm supposed to land?
Yes, exactly. So long story short, start training with her. She lets me sit in with her appointments. And one day, my husband was like, we've got to do this. We've got to do this. This is what you're called to do. I bet we can start another office on the other side of town. She'll probably help us, all the thing. The next morning I walk in, it's her and her husband sitting there, and I thought, oh man, I messed up.
They're firing me.
I'm like, I gave somebody something wrong, like,
It's a really good kind of firing.
Yeah. And she said, 21 years ago, she had been doing it about 21 years at that point. She said, I prayed and I asked the Lord to send somebody that was like-minded and that just wanted to help people. And here you are, 21 years old. Would you like to buy the business?
Pardon the pun, this was tailor-made.
It was
On every side of the fence.
tailor-made.
Every side of the fence.
It was tailor-made. So we bought it. I had no credit. My husband was self-employed too. He was just starting his business. It was a miracle that it even happened. Worked for about 1.5 years at this location, started growing.
Wow.
Brought my sister on as a manager. She started helping me grow. And the Lord gave me the dream of a multi-purpose clinic. And I was like, oh, that's cool for like 20 years from now.
Right.
Like, I'm barely paying rent right now,
Look at the income, Lord, and
Yeah.
look at how things are not coming in. And
It's not making sense.
Yeah.
We've never lived there, Adam. have we?
Never.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. God math never makes sense. I figured out.
Right on.
And so I was telling my husband, he's like, cool, let's start looking. And we found our new location, and it just happened to be perfect. I got laughed out of 2 banks. Again, at this point, I'm about 23 years old, and who wants to give a 23-year-old
A lot of money.
a lot of money? And with no credit, I barely had a credit card at this point, And the final one, I just said, hey, he was the president of the bank, and I knew it was ours, and said, the Lord told me this, and if you don't want to give it to me, somebody else will. And,
Wow.
And he called me the next day, he prayed about it, and said, yep, it's yours, and here we are.
Wow. So that's
He gave
amazing.
me the loan. Yeah, it was amazing.
That's so awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So tell us where your clinic is located.
So we're at 4633 North MacArthur, so it's 46 in MacArthur in Oklahoma City. Well, technically War Acres, but
And how long have you been in business now?
since 2013.
And what can people expect when they come into your place?
So our place now, actually the chiropractor, Dr. Bud, came with us when we first opened, and then he had to step out, and then he came back in a new location. And then, so when you come in, we have a whole store, vitamin, minerals, herb supplement.
The things you sell actually to help people, right?
And then I currently have 3 naturopaths, including myself, on staff, a master herbalist, and a counselor.
A master herbalist. Whoops,
Yeah.
sorry, I just threw something at you. What's a master? We're going to go into a couple of different things, I think, on your practice and your approach. I think it's amazing what God has done through you and in your practice and helping people. You have a name that's known all around town. And I think, and if people want to come in and get an appointment with you, Kenzie, what do they need to do?
Well, currently I am getting ready to go on maternity leave.
Oh, wow.
I am not accepting new appointments right now. But again, like I said, I have 2 other naturopaths.
You have 2 naturopaths. Do they just call your place?
Yeah, come by.
What's the phone number?
405-722-7444.
That's
And is there a website?
Yeah, taylorsherbs.com.
taylorsherbs.com, and the phone number once again. Sorry for cutting you off.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
405-722-7444.
7444. Okay. And I love going into your place because everybody there is awesome, and I just want to hang out. Like-minded people, but just special people that like serving others. You have hundreds and hundreds of products on your shelf when I walk in. It's like one of those little health food stores that's just so beautifully clean and perfect, and you're overwhelmed by all the products. But a dear friend of yours, Dr. Brian Frank, introduced you to our company, Ultra Botanica, and you do some really interesting things as a naturopath. Tell us how you get to know that a product's going to work for someone, because this is fascinating to me.
Yeah. So our primary modality is called kinesiology, or muscle response testing. And I just kind of basically explain it of like, we're magnetic, everything's magnetic, right? And so something's either going to bring us up, bring us down, or just be a balancer, right?
That makes sense.
And so essentially we just ask the body if it's good, and are able to determine what everybody needs at that point.
So I've seen this before. Like, people are holding out their arm, and then you hold the product in one arm, and then you're asking the body to give a response. Is this something good for you or bad for you? I'll go to a health food store sometimes, and I'll see people hold something right up against their chest, and they're like leaning forward and back and stuff like that. And sometimes they take it, and sometimes they put it back on the shelf.
Yes.
Is that kinesiology? Is that a form of kinesiology?
That is, yeah. We actually use the finger method, so the O-ring method with the 2 fingers. And when we ask the body a question, we give the body a stimuli. It's either going to be strong or weak.
Okay. And the strong ones are the good ones?
Yes.
And the ones that are weak are, body's like,
just not for the individual. So it's a more individualistic approach.
So did you test our technologies, our products?
Of course.
And what did you find?
It's super strong.
Really?
I actually was carrying another curcumin product at the time, and we have fun in our office. We'll put them in brown paper bags.
What?
And, like,
Really?
Mix them around. And just
so it's not kind of like you have to see what the product. You can actually do this in a blinded
fashion. Yeah, no subliminal.
Wow.
Yeah,
no
that's great.
And that's the one thing I always say. There's no. Some people are like, that's placebo and all that. And I'm like, actually, it's really fun to see it in kids and animals, because you have a great animal product too.
Yeah.
And I have 2 beautiful dogs that are like my children until
They are children.
And there's no placebo in them.
Yeah,
they're
they're
better or not.
Yeah, exactly.
So
the dog's not going to pretend to feel better because you give them something that they don't know is a food or a supplement or a drug, right?
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
They actually asked for it. It's really fun.
Really?
Yeah, my Great Dane especially.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, so there's so many different topics that we could go into, Josh, and I think you had some thoughts about kind of the approach of how inflammation affects your body, and how and what things people can do to manage inflammation. But I think we're gonna come back right after this segment, and we're gonna talk about some of these therapeutic modalities.
Yeah, once again, here we are in the Ultra Botanica studios in Oklahoma City. Adam Payne and myself talking to our special guest, Kenzie Taylor, who you've heard this amazing story. Please share it with friends. It'll be posted in different places. You can probably search for it online. We'll be back.